How to light a Thornhill range cooker. The most important thing to do when lighting a cooker is to get that flue as hot as possible, as quickly as possible. And that means you want to get a raging fire going inside the firebox as soon as possible. If you don't get enough airflow going around that fire, there's a risk you'll create a load of smoke that may backdraft into the kitchen, and that's really not a good look. So, to understand a cooker, you just need to understand some of the functions on it. One is this knob up here. This controls the airflow to the hobs. When it's pulled out, the airflow is going straight up from the fire, around those hobs, and then up the chimney. So it's the least distance, and therefore the best way of transferring that heat energy from the fire to the chimney. So have that open to begin with. Next knob is the vent control knob down here. Have that fully pulled out. That's maximum airflow coming into the firebox. And then you've got the door. The door is now fully closed in this position, but it has this half open position where you get a good bit of air gap going around here. And I recommend when lighting the fire, certainly when the fire is cold or when the oven is cold, is to have the door slightly ajar like so. As soon as you get a really good raging fire, get that door back on its half position. And if it's still raging really well, close this top knob. That will then send all the heat energy through the ovens before it goes up the flue. And you'll then start seeing your temperature gauge go up. This oven's already warm, it's at 150. And when it gets to 150, it's at that point that you can then close this knob, or this latch. And then when it gets to about 200, close off the knob there. And the fire will then burn very nicely. Keep adding one log, maybe once an hour or so, and the thing will keep going for you. So just in terms of getting a really good startup process going, if you look inside the oven, this oven is already quite warm. The best thing to do is grab a piece of wood and just bed down the ash inside so you've got a nice flat surface. And then create a cross hairs or cross-hatched set of cut up pieces of wood, faggots. And if you do, I find 9 of them in a cross-hatch works really well. Like so. And then if you load up a couple of logs on top, those logs will then heat nicely and get going once the fire is going. Let me go put this on here. So that is your kind of base setup. This fire will probably ignite already with the coals that are still hot underneath. I'm just going to give it a little extra boost by lighting a little one of these little swirly things. Let's get that lit nicely. There we go. Feed that in under here. There we go. Let's get that lit. Have this one open. That might need a little restart this thing. There we go. Make sure both vents are open. Leave the door slightly ajar. There we go, you can see the air being drawn in now. And then, yeah, once that gets to a really good roaring fire, close this onto that half position, and then think about closing this down as well. Actually, this is going to take very quickly. There we go. So that is the best practice advice for lighting a Thornhill range cooker. Thank you, Graham Thornhill, for inventing it.